How does it feel to be Lambda famous now?
I,
Internet famous.
I wouldn't consider myself famous. I just consider myself a guy,
Just
just
a,
a guy.
just a
I'm
guy.
just a guy.
Just a guy. It's just a
Just a
guy
guy.
that has his own icon and the official Lambda Slack.
That we had like the introduction video for the CS, part of the curriculum, and then all of a sudden, like 3 PMs were like, they like at me and they're like, we have a superstar in this curriculum, and I'm like, oh no. And they like shouted me out, and like 30 people were like, whoa, we know you.
If you're watching this video and you're in Lambda and you have access to Slack, please just DM Patrick with his Patrick meme. All you got to do is, colon Patrick-Thompson colon, and you'll get his emoji, and just spam him. Just do that as a favor to me, because he doesn't believe that he has an impact on you guys watching this video, and that you're like actually following his story and his life, and like, I feel like Patrick's helping people he doesn't think he is. So just go ahead and spam his DMs, and just press F to pay respects if you don't have access to the Lambda Slack. I'd appreciate that. Thanks, Patrick, for the interview. I'll see you later. I'm done recording now. Bye. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Finally, we got another update video with Patrick Thompson from Lambda School. I know it's been a while. He had holiday break, and then we're just kind of getting back into the swing of things here. He's been there for 23 weeks now. He's got 7 weeks left. He's finished the entire web dev section of Lambda School, and he's finished the entire labs thing, and now he's on to the computer science portion. He only has one thing left to do after the computer science portion, and that is to present his project to potential employers. He's already presented it to the entirety of Lambda School. They had like 200, 300 people watching him present his project to them, so that was pretty cool. And so now he's just in the final race here doing computer science. He seems to be doing okay with it, but I'll let him tell that story. We all believe in you, Patrick. So again, as always, Patrick, thank you for doing these videos with me and sharing your story, and I'm sure you inspire more people than you know. And anyways, if you don't know what Lambda School is a 7.5 month code school. You don't pay anything until you get a job making 50,000 or more, and then you pay 17% of your income back for 2 years, or up to 30,000. You can also pay up front 20,000, and it's available in the US and the EU. So if you get a job doing car sales after you finish Lambda School, you don't pay, because they didn't do their job. And some people have issues with the amount of money that you have to pay for the ISA, and that's too much up front. And there's different business models for different boot camps, and you can go watch previous videos if you want to see what those are about. I've done Makers Academy, I've done Flatiron now. I'm open to things. It's different models for different people for different purposes. So right now I'm shadowing Patrick at Lambda School, and maybe in the future we'll do something else. But anyways, that's what Lambda School is. If you're interested in it, you can check the link down there in the description below. If you use that link, you get $250 when you graduate Lambda School, and you help support the channel. So it's a win-win for everyone. I'd appreciate it if you do check it out. Use that link. Now I wanted to do a little update, kind of with Lambda School. They've actually added a lot of things since I've started shadowing Patrick, just because it's a startup, right? They were in Series A, and now they're in Series B, and so they had this experimental housing in San Francisco where you would go live there and you wouldn't have any bills, and you could just live there in this room of 4. I'm not sure if they're still doing that, but they tried that thing. And then there was this idea to just pay people to stay at home so those people could quit their jobs, because that seemed to be a major thing where people couldn't quit their jobs because they didn't have enough money. But they were like, okay, well, if you quit your job, we'll just pay your bills, and we'll tack that on to the end of your income share agreement, and then instead of 2 years, it'll be 3 years or whatever, something like that. They've also added that starting at week 3 at Lambda School, you now get your own career coach that you meet with for one-on-ones and career instructors, and so you can just start getting ready to get jobs a lot earlier than just waiting until the very end. They also added this thing called open office hours for on-demand career services, so you can just hit someone up and be like, yo, I need questions, I need a pep talk, I need interview prep, I need you to look over my cover letter and resume for this job. Do you think I should tweak it? Kind of like an on-demand. Just recently, they added a 5-week Java course. It's just Java. You're doing Java language fundamentals, IntelliJ IDE, RESTful web APIs with String, Tomcat, and Maven middleware, with RabbitMQ, deployment of Java applications, backend data, persistence, continuous integration and testing with JUnit and Jenkins, documentation using Swagger. So this is all a 5-week thing. If you go to Lambda School, it's free under that, and it's your job to figure out how you can fit that in your schedule, since Lambda School is pretty hard. It's pretty jam-packed of content anyways, but it's free if you're an alumni or if you're a current student. And then they have Lambda Next, which is when you finish Lambda School, it's just like another boot camp, except you're there from 9 to 5 doing interview questions, building resumes, applying to jobs, practicing your behavioral stuff. It's like a boot camp, but for finding a job, and that's totally free. And you can go there basically until you get a job. And so it's like the coding boot camp, and then there's like the job finding boot camp. So it's 7.5 months just for the coding, and then you're welcome to go to Lambda Next for free. I think they're doing a pretty good job. It's been kind of cool to be on like behind the scenes of it all, and I just figured I would try to be as transparent as possible with you guys since I'm doing this and I make videos about them. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little update video, and Patrick, again, I appreciate you for doing this video. I press F to pay respects like always, and I appreciate if you guys did so in the comments down below. If you want to see more videos, click that subscribe button, hit that like button before you head out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, Patrick, how close are you to finishing Lambda School? We haven't done a video in a while, and you've been doing the computer science section. So how many weeks into Lambda are you? How many you have left? And then how many weeks into this CS program are you?
So I believe I'm 23 weeks out of 30 now, 30 being the total. And then in terms of like just the CS portion, this is going to be week 3 now. So data structures.
So you got 7 weeks left before you're done with this entire Lambda School program.
Yeah.
And then what's your plan? Did you just go straight to Lambda Next and then keep working on getting a job? Because I know you've been applying to jobs already, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I've applied to a little over 70 now.
Okay. And how has the CS program been going? What have you been learning? Like what was week 1, 2?
Well, week 1 was intro to Python and OOP fundamentals with Python, which was basically just, this is Python. This is what it used to look like in JavaScript that you learn. Now we're going to be doing this stuff in Python. So we basically got up to speed within that first couple of days. I was basically busting out Python code the same I would be as in JavaScript. So that was week 1. And then week 2 was algorithms. So sorting algorithms and searching algorithms, and then recursion. So we were doing things like heap sort, quick sort, binary searches, and all that. We were implementing that all with Python too. So
I remember way back you said you went to community college for some like lower level software stuff like C++ and C, and has that helped you in Lambda School? Like, do you think if you wouldn't went, you'd just be like totally like mind blown? How do you think other people are doing that haven't done that?
Definitely, I would say because of how I learned C++ in college and how we had to do all this, trees, binary searching, all that stuff with C++. I would say I was definitely well more equipped than everybody else who might not have gone through that same kind of education as I have. But at the same time, I would also say that it seemed like everyone else was having just as bad of a time as I was. So I think to me personally, I think I had an advantage, but a lot of people were pretty smart. So I think so far so good. Everyone's on the same playing field.
So for the first week that you were doing CS, what did you actually build? Because it's all like application-based, project-based type things. So what did you build with Python in week 1?
It was actually kind of interesting. So we were introduced to things like dictionaries and how to talk about classes and build their methods. So the thing that we built for that first week on Friday was we actually introduced a text-based game. So the idea was that we created room classes, and we put those room classes into a dictionary, and their keys were the name of the rooms. Those, the locations would have their own methods. So you could go north, east, south, or west.
And the second week, you just did like a bunch of sorting algorithms, pretty much.
Yeah, the Friday challenge was implementing a heap, which is a type of data structure, and then using that heap, implementing heap sort.
Has anyone in your course or cohort got hired yet?
So from Full Stack Web 13, I know of one. His name's Kieran. He got a job basically before the labs portion ended, so he's already out doing his own thing. He's in the part-time now for the CS portion.
I think I see him on YouTube in the chat. He has a purple avatar. Kieran5.
I asked that person if that was Kieran from Lambda. They said that it isn't.
So last we talked, like in our last video, you were talking about like your final project that you had to present, and I think you presented it to Lambda School, but you haven't presented it to employers, right? So you had to hop in a Zoom with like 200 viewers and present your project. How did that go?
It was interesting. It was definitely nerve-wracking. I didn't speak. I didn't really want to. I was way too nervous. But one of our group members, awesome dude, his name is Joseph Bradley. he presented our lab project to like over 200 people. So it was very interesting being able to see like people going, wow, like that's an awesome project, et cetera, and being able to see everybody else's who, from the same labs cohort as us. So it was awesome. It was an interesting experience, but I'm more excited to present it to employers.
And when is that happening?
I believe that's going to happen on the last week of the CS portion. For us, we're in that experimental group, if everybody remembers. So we actually have a 6th lab week, and we have a 7th lab week. The 6th lab week is in the middle of the CS portion, and then the 7th lab week is actually at the end of the CS portion. And I believe that's when we're going to be presenting, the finished product to employers.
And according to you, is it like actually finished to the T now? Like good enough to present to companies, you think?
Personally, we need to get the mobile side of it done, because even though we have an iOS app version of it, we don't have an Android app version of it. So we need to, at least on that, I don't want to eliminate a user base, right? So I think once we have the mobile responsiveness done for, like Android sided things, then I think we'll be done. We're basically functionally all there. It's just that little nitpicky user interfacing,
You have like 7 weeks left before you're done with this program in its entirety. What is like the very last week? Like, what are you doing in the last week? Do you like pre-celebrate, or you wrap things up, or you just work until the end of that Friday and then you're done and cut free and on to Lambda Next now?
It's an interesting question, because I don't even know. I think for me it'll be like this weird mix of like elation, but also kind of like sadness, because you going through this giant 30-week journey with a bunch of people, and then it's just like the last day. And yeah, I mean, you're doing a project and it's like the last couple of things you have to do before you're done, but you kind of feel, like you've gone through hell and back with everybody, right? You've been doing the hardest parts. I think it'll be sad, but it'll also be fun.